An Audible production. The new one, the word of the week is scunted, which is scunned and cunted.
Scunted.
Yeah, it's when you're so badly cunted, i.e. tired of it all, exhausted. You know, you've been done so badly that you've got the will to live is gone. I'm scunted.
This podcast is brought to you by Scunted.
Scunted.
The brand new terminology described to say when you're done, but you're also
Done.
correct.
Welcome back to We Say All That to Say. It's Pride Part 3, After Hours, Shame.
Glory hole, recession.
Glory hole recession.
Yeah,
That sounds like a failed female punk band.
Yeah, it's like you want to suck dick, but then also you can't.
Well, the holes are getting smaller every year.
Every year.
They keep shrinking those candy bars. You know,
And burgers.
it's a massive recession indicator.
Can I just tell you
And so is the size of my libido.
guess how massive a KFC burger used to be?
Massive. Absolutely stonking massive.
Gigantic.
Spade loads of burger.
Are you done?
Yeah, sorry.
So basically,
Came out the gate strong there.
a spade loads of burger, which has been reduced to teeny tiny weeny Superman
Yeah.
little burger.
Little bug.
So much so that now the only option is to release them for 2-for-1 meal deals
Release a Snyder cut. That's what I say.
biannually. The reduction of everything, like it started with Heroes box sets, you know, the box of chocolates. The tins used to be massive. I know this because we have an old one in the garage that currently houses spiders and nuts and bolts. The tins
An old bargain bucket.
Heroes.
Heroes. I thought we were still talking about KFC. I was like, you've got a nasty ass greasy
Bargain bucket
Bargain
KFC
bucket.
12-piece family bucket.
with the bones still in the
Don't clock me.
to feed the other Euan under the stairs.
You're stupid.
No, the Heroes tin. Yes, I'm aware. It's,
There's that word again, hero. I'm not one.
Could be heroes.
Just for one day. One long ass 11-hour day.
My God, he's never done hard. It's
Fucking
like working 2 days on the trot. 24/7 for 2 days on the trot.
Correct.
This is how I prefer to work. In,
Insularly
crippling,
and cripplingly
really long
hours.
intense, crippling, like back-breaking work.
Well, then
and nothing.
that's also interesting. Do you feel like your work is any less good because you don't spend hours and hours on it? What if it's like 2 minutes long and it's still really good?
I wouldn't do it in the first place because that's not how my brain works.
Do you think
I have
unless
to be
it's
locked in.
unless it's hours and hours of doing
This
stuff?
is why I was saying there is a part of me that's type A, because if my ducks are not in order, the work will not be getting done. Case in point, this sofa got listed on Facebook Marketplace about a month after it should have done. Did it sell? Is it getting picked up tomorrow? Yes, happy ending. But did I leave it until a week before the sale of my flat? Yes. Why? Because it wasn't ready yet. It wasn't time yet. The ducks were not in order. It was not ready for me to do it. There was too many things to be done first.
Well, given that you would not have a seat to sit on in a day's time, there's pretty good incentive to sell it. Because why would you sell it a week ago when you still needed it?
That, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't thinking about that. We would have been sat on the floor all day.
Fantastic. I'm tired already. Do you really want me to sit on a cold floor?
Yeah, this would have been a shorter shoot day because I can tell you're a diva.
Yeah.
You know, the talent is
Type B.
Type
Not diva,
B
just
talent.
lazy. And this is the thing.
TBT.
See when people say to me, like, I mean, if you ever do like work awards, I have won most dramatic member of staff 3 years running.
How does that feel?
It feels it is what it is. It's slightly homophobic, and I've said that because I think people just think they hear my voice and they see my manner, which is theatrical, right? But I don't actually know if they take that as credence and just go, oh, he's really dramatic, like, oh, and he really commits to it. I don't think they quite understand that, like, it's actually just a bit of Flavor Flav.
I think they understand that it's a bit, and it's not that you actually are like insufferably dramatic.
Well, this is the thing. When I hear dramatic, I hear high maintenance, and that's
they're two different things.
But I know, but that's what I hear. I hear he's really dramatic. He really gets burnt out by things really, really easily, And is that
That's just not
is
true.
that a pure interpretation?
I think you've made that link in your head, but the two are not always.
Mutually exclusive.
No, if they were mutually exclusive, they would never be associated.
That's so interesting. So every time I see mutually exclusive, I hear they belong together. I say all that to say I don't know how the English language works.
We're learning a lot today.
It's like when people say like, "Oh, I'm going." See, when I hear like, "Oh, I'm going teetotal," I think that means like I'm going ham, like I'm going big, I'm going teetotal on this activity. But actually, it means
sober.
Sober.
Hey,
stupid.
You know what? There's another linguistic segue in there about the way that language adapts and evolves over time, and I won't bore your tits off about it.
Well, isn't it funny how chilly means both hot and cold?
When I tell you, you've gagged me right there. That is some thoughtful shit.
Right?
Wow. What am I going to do now?
Nothing. I say all that to say.
My life's different.
You've been positively scunted.
I've been scunted by that one. And for the audience, we do like to do a wee... I can't remember what the name is it for when you... No, it's not nomenclature. It's a word for when you put two words together. Is a portmanteau. Portmanteau. Guys, I'm that good. So, a portmanteau is when you put two words together. We do like to do that. It amuses us. We are still on Pride episode, and I feel like we're talking about nothing remotely related to...
Oh, we will, if you let me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm silencing. I do like to silence gay men because I don't believe they're real. You know, I'm actually talking to nobody right now.
I'm in disguise. I'm not even wearing the God, but fuck off. Right.
Go ahead. No one's stopping you.
So basically, I don't know necessarily if gay men have the monopoly on feeling like outsiders.
Do you think there's a lot of victimization going on in the gay community?
Well, of course. I know, because I am the biggest one. Right?
Numero uno.
Numero uno, reversed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I say all that to say that every heterosexual man I've encountered in adult life struggles to...
Hetero or homosexual?
Heterosexual.
Hetero, okay.
Sort of struggle to immerse themselves in most social situations. I think if I'm thinking solely of myself, I kind of think, you've done the big self-conscious thing through maybe primary school, secondary school, and you kind of really start to kind of come into your own a wee bit.
You gain an ego, you get embarrassed, you go through that process of being stunted because you're like, God, I can't, everything I do is embarrassing, and then you come out the other side of it.
I think you're used to the concept of rejection and sort of that polarizing social, whatever you want to call it.
The minefield of it all.
The minefield much sooner. And then sort of heterosexual men potentially have to experience that potentially a wee bit later, because obviously women are a little bit more worldly anyway, and I think
I could talk on that for hours.
They expose themselves to a lot more uncomfortable situations /
I don't think they expose themselves. I think they're forced upon them.
Did I say they expose themselves? I'm really sorry.
You need to apologise to women everywhere, actually.
Take your top off, bitch.
There's another one underneath. I came prepared. I don't get naked for anyone. Barely for myself.
We've got 12 minutes, 38 seconds. That's 1, 2, 3, 8.
Give us your type 5.
That's enough.
You were saying that you think gay men go through that forging in fire earlier.
And so women, there's this sort of natural sense of camaraderie.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to say that the whole time.
You wanted to say camaraderie the whole time.
Camaraderie. It does not sound good in a Scottish accent. It just doesn't.
Camaraderie. I mean, camaraderie.
Absolutely. But yeah, I don't know. Am I talking shite?
No, I think that's an obvious truth, actually. So you're basically saying that straight men and women are very much hand in hand in this in the kind of journeys through life.
Straight men and straight women?
No, women and gay men.
Women and gay men. That's why there's a sense of...
The straight men are on their own.
Sure, straight men are, but then...
They're so hard done by.
Then ultimately, but yes.
Is this the plot twist? Is this where you're going with this?
Is that, if you've got two... I mean, this is only because I'm exposed to the two groups so much, is that gay men and then straight women, they have that natural alliance of you know, we've experienced all this rejection, or I guess if we're speaking generally like about femininity, the feminine aspects that you overthink yourself into different scenarios which allow you to tap into that sort of kind of
delusion,
feminine mindset, or whatever you want to call it.
You'd have to explain that more.
I don't know. Like I'm not trying to say that straight men don't face rejection at all, but I just think potentially from what I've seen now,
we're all in this together, but they try and make out like they're the only ones. Is what you're saying?
I don't know. I say all that to say,
what do you say all that
we're
to
off
say?
track a little bit. No, I think when I see, like, I mean, if we're going to get specific, it's just like, it's really hard for me to, I mean, maybe it just depends situation to situation, because like if I see myself like out with like Rudy and those guys, like I don't feel instantly alienated or like an outsider, because I don't know if I'm consciously trying to make myself feel more included, but then I also don't know if it helps because you were there and you also stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, you kind of have to own it. But then I don't think you particularly change your behaviour. I don't feel like
it's just more gimpy.
Yeah.
Like if you're a gay man and you're changing your, I guess, abject femininity to suit an environment like
Tamping it down.
Code switching, if you will, which you're allowed to do. I think everyone's allowed to do that.
It's like, not a bad thing.
It's
a survival technique.
If you're like going to your straight barber and you don't want to say, oh, me and my boyfriend went away for like, Tampa this week. Tampa, fucking, I guess, what's it called? Birmingham. What's the gay place? Birmingham.
We went to Birmingham.
Birmingham is the gay place, right?
Provincetown.
Provincetown, but I think Birmingham is like a big gay capital in the UK.
Sure.
Birmingham Pride, is that right?
Manchester Pride, I thought, would have been the one.
Birmingham.
I think all the big cities are going to have a big
Birmingham
pride,
is
no?
like where all the old gays go for a pride.
Oh. The vets.
The veterinarians.
The old dogs.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm turning 30.
I'm turning 12. Beautiful.
So yeah, like I don't know, because I mean I'm trying to think about it in like a positive lens, because it's kind of hard to say that God, I'm gone.
You stunted.
I don't know, because like I just don't think particularly that I have it harder socially than a heterosexual man. Certainly not to date.
I think there's a degree of, maybe what you're trying to say is by being forged in fire at such a young age, because you're thrown into a world that is very prejudiced against you and will engage in a lot of discrimination. You gain a thicker skin earlier. You learn how to survive, be passing, code switch, know when you can be yourself and when you can't, when to hide parts of yourself, when you can fully express yourself. And that all becomes so innate and almost subconscious that by the time you get to your 20s, mid-20s...
Late 20s,
you're operating at a higher level than a straight man, for example, who's not to say that they don't have many issues, like especially in today's day and age, it must be very difficult to compare yourself to people online, that kind of instant success kind of manosphere thing where it's like, why hasn't it happened for me? Or this woman's rejected me, and then rather than the forks in the road, and rather than take it on the chin, you pick, this is because all women are bad, and all of this. Like, they've got many things to deal with. Everyone feels insecure when they're younger. That's a universal experience. But the entitlement that comes with being a guy, being able to walk down the street without like immediate fear of being persecuted or attacked or something worse than that, that kind of sense of, or lack of self-consciousness that comes with walking into the room and knowing that you're going to get everything that you want, means that in a way they're a little bit like big babies. So when you come to situations in the late 20s where women and gay men and gay women have basically already learned all of these skills.
Yeah, the humility,
the shame, pride, handling all of these negative emotions and handling them healthily it's the straight man that ends up being left behind, doesn't understand why everyone else, it seems like they're looking down on them, or they're hate men, hate all men. It's like they don't then take those kind of blanket statements well, because they don't seem to have ever learned the skills.
There's no nuance to it, right?
It's recognize nuance, see that, like, or have the self-confidence to go, they're not talking about me, because here are the things that I've done to become a better man. And I would link this quickly to a podcast that I watched where there was, I need to put the name of it in the description. It's called Wild Geese, but the actual name of the girl, I'll try and get in the description, because I feel like I should definitely name drop her. I love her podcast. She kind of does like musings on sociology and like navigating through life, and it's a bit self-helpy, but not hitting over the head with it, right? She's just like quite a positive person that's like trying to get you back into your creativity and feeling connected with yourself. And she had this wonderful take on the idea that because women are always told to be smaller, take up less space, and apologise for who they are, and be and make room for men, basically, that we're brainwashed into being the second-class citizen, that our journey of self-growth in our 20s is inverse to what it is for a guy that's always been told that he's enough, that he can take up space, that he deserves to be where he is, that he's allowed to be where he is, that he's entitled to this, that he's entitled to that. That the journey of a man to learn humility and learn how to be a better man and be empathetic and sympathetic and put other people's needs first and everything is all skills that women have already learned, and I think gay men have already learned. So it would be ridiculous to expect our growth journeys to be the same as a straight male. If anything, what women and what gay people learn is how to take up more space, how to say no, how to develop boundaries, how to push back, you know? And those two journeys are because of our socialization at a very young age, and the way that social media and everything is advertised to us all the time, everything that's reinforced by the generation before and by everything in the media, means that our journeys are inverse to each other. So everything that we already know that we are good at by the time that we're in our late 20s, they're struggling with, which makes total sense to me, that if our journeys are different, it would be the skill sets. Our skill sets are completely different too. Mm-hmm. And that can create a lot of friction and a lot of, well, I can do it, so why can't you? And so on and so forth. But
then also the kind of imposter syndrome that kind of, well, I wouldn't say imposter syndrome, because obviously if they're on the pedestal already, I don't know if it's like whatever the opposite of imposter syndrome is, but it's also like, I remember I saw this great movie it was a Steven Spielberg movie about when he started to make movies, something with the Feeblemans, I think.
The Fablemans.
It's like, I don't know who was it.
Paul Dano.
It's not Naomi Watts. It's her. It's that girl. She was in I Feel Pretty.
Ozark.
No, it's that really annoying girl with the voice.
Really annoying girl with the voice.
God, you'll have to look her up. But she was in I Feel Pretty. It's the girl, the mum, and it's Steven Spielberg's pretend mum. And in the movie, there was like a high school bully who was bullying the Steven Spielberg character because he was a man, and he was the sort of, I guess, the personification of male masculinity. And I remember at the end of the movie, they showed through the eyes of the Steven Spielberg character this man in this heroic fashion, but it was also incredibly vulnerable, like, because I don't know if it was something to do with the fact that his shirt was off, or if it was this very melodramatic vibe to the short film that he showed, that it made the Billy character, I guess, very self-conscious, because he was confronted with this perception of what everybody else saw him as, which was this man, right? This like heroic, like
being shown the mirror,
showing like, this, I'm the perfect specimen. But then that's a lot of expectation, right? And I think that's potentially what's confronting
living up to
the contemporary man, right? Is
living up to an ideal that doesn't exist or shouldn't exist.
Pressure to perfect, because through the LGBT plus women lens, they are a specimen of perfection, because they haven't. I guess our idea would be like,
but they have everything they could ever want.
They have everything they could ever want. So what is there to lose?
But I also twofold. I think maybe you've got women and queer people are much more able to take criticism, because we've already learn to live with and sit in our our critiques and our weaknesses and the things that we could improve on, because we're being critiqued or, you know, degraded a lot all the time. So you're used to sitting with that feeling of feeling worthless or less than.
Were you bullied at school?
No, I don't think so. Like, not
You
in
don't
any.
think so?
I think I remember vaguely my parents moving high schools. Oh, no, primary school. Sorry.
You moved primary school?
Yes. And I think they were wanting to leave the city anyway. They moved from Hull to Leeds. But I do remember part of it being that I was telling them that I was being bullied. But also, I was just an only child, and a part of me does think maybe I was just a pussy. Even at that age. I'm like, get a grip, girl. You know? But in high school, nothing ever significant enough that you would quantify it as, this is not my spotlight off stage to take, I would say. You know?
Correct.
For
I
was bullied.
was bullied.
Oh no.
I've got 18 seconds to wrap this up, but
No, I think you've got a couple of minutes.
Couple of minutes, like, yeah, for sure. But I don't know, when I think about the adverse effects that like potentially my bullying had on me, is that like it's very black and white, as I like to make everything.
Mm-hmm.
That feeling of, it's hard because like when I look back at it, like it's been so drowned out. I don't know if it's like just I'm trying to put it really, really far back.
Well, you're very disconnected from it at this point, and everything hurts less
So
from a distance.
Yeah. And the last time I experienced like hardcore bullying for like being gay was maybe I was 6 years ago at a bus stop, and I think it was nearly like 8 years ago.
Do you still call it bullying if it's adult? If you're an adult, is it just?
Yeah.
Is it
I would
just a
think
hate crime?
I think it's all just bullying, to be honest. 'Cause, I mean, I think it's only a hate crime if no, maybe it is a hate crime. I don't know. Like, I don't know how serious it would need to be. I think for it to be a hate crime, it would need to be like involving like a professional aspect or like include physical violence. I mean, I guess you could say it was anything. I don't know if I'm trying to minimize it because I've not experienced it in a while.
Poor baby, bullied at a bus stop.
Oh, Jesus.
Right, tell me more. Offload the trauma.
So anyway, it was like such a stupid story, but then it was like I was sitting down at the bus stop waiting for the bus to come. Unbelievable. Is the bus still running?
I can't tell you that, doll. You're the one who worked for the bus company.
Jesus Christ.
New law unlocked.
Basically, these three group, and this is where it gets really embarrassing because I used to lie about the gender of the bullies for years. Maybe 2.
Did you used to say they were girls, but they're actually boys?
No, they were men. No, they were girls, but I would tell people they were men just so I didn't feel embarrassed to be bullied by a bunch of like 18-year-old girls. Maybe they must have been younger. They must have been 14.
Was
and
that
I was
because you felt
20.
like in your head you should have been able to turn around to a woman and stand up to yourself better because women are less scary?
Yeah.
In like a misogynistic kind of way, like I can defend myself easier to women because they're less physically.
Like, yeah, I just don't know the optics
or like,
of me going off.
I suppose not misogynistic. That's unfair. Like,
no. I think maybe the optics of me going off on 3 young women
would look bad.
Would look bad. Like, I think I was 20, and they were. I don't know, they must have been like 14, 15.
Oh, the worst
And also,
age.
I think I was so consumed by the fact that I haven't experienced this kind of like verbal abuse for years. And the worst part is that like they probably didn't even really think I was gay. They were just coming at me because like. It was easy. Do you know what I mean? Like, they might have known. I mean, because I'm not, like, hiding it. I would just, like... I think they would have said it to anyone that looked like me.
What did they say?
They're just, like... I mean, I was, like... They were going around people in the bus stop trying to get a phone. To, like, phone somebody. And I just didn't want them coming up to me because I was really drunk. So I just had my phone in my bag. And then I think one of them saw me do it. And then they're all just, like, sitting there saying, like, oh, he's had his phone because he doesn't want us to use it. And then they're just, like, shouting across the bus station, "Poof, poof." Like, so we didn't want to use your phone anyway. And I was like, good, I wasn't giving it to you. So it was that. I was just like, but it was the first time in ages, like, that it was that, like, sort of stupid and...
But meant with callous and cruel intent.
And malice.
Malice, callous.
Malice, callous, phallus. Cheers. So, yeah. And then I remember, so that was the thing. And then I kind of... like someone came and sat next to me. It was a bunch of people around. It was all very much a spectacle that I was just trying to ignore. And then like nobody really did anything, but people came and like sat next to me as if to block me away from them, which was nice.
Wee bit of community spirit there.
Yeah, but like also still nobody said anything. It was just like, I don't really know what people are expected to say. It's just like stupid wee gals. Horrible. Nasty.
Nasty wee lasses.
Wee lassies. Like, and so I was just a bit like, oh, whatever, all in a day. But I remember specifically going home and like telling my mum and dad about it. And the first thing my dad said to me was, I don't know what you expect, Euan. Like, I think he was drunk, like, when he said this to me, but this is like the kind of shit that sticks with you, right? It was just like, I tried
of course, that's like singed into your brain now forever. Your own father saying to you, I don't know what you expected.
And I think he like had to stop himself, but he went on to say, I tried to tell you this when you came out. Like, as if to say, oh, that
Jesus
was
Christ.
ever gonna change anything.
What did your mum say to that?
I don't know. My mum's always a secret father supporter, just because, you know, she chose him, so like you kind of she kind of has to stand by him. But it was the same situation. Like when I brought my first boyfriend home, it was like, oh, I think they were going to invite him over for Sunday dinner, and my dad was like, oh, we'll need to tell my mum, so my gran. So it was like, oh yeah, my mum was like, oh, we'll have to tell her that he's not just a friend. Like we should tell her. And I was like, why do I have to do it?
So you have to go up to your potentially racist grandma. Racist. I'm sorry.
My first boyfriend was black.
What was the
Homophobic.
What was your next book going to be called?
Sorry, I'm white.
Sorry, I'm white.
I'm really sorry.
I say all that to say you were going to go up to your potentially homophobic grandma, and it was going to be your job to give her the bad news.
Yeah.
That her grandson had brought a gay man to dinner.
Yeah.
Wonderful stuff.
Really,
really great stuff. Yeah, fantastic.
And I mean, that's not even really the issue. I get that potentially it's awkward. My dad doesn't have a great relationship with his parents anyway. So, like, telling them anything personal is, like, always going to be a bit of a faux pas. But I think, you know, in that situation, when it wasn't even about including anyone else, and it could have just been, like, a situation where he said to me, I'll just let it go in one ear and out the other. He chose to side with the people that were making me miserable. And
sometimes you don't need to explicitly say it for it to be absolutely there in everything that you do, you know. Which brings me on to, unless you would like to continue going through your past traumas.
Well, just that the worst thing anybody ever said to me at school was, your parents are ashamed of you and you're going to get AIDS and die. But that's the worst thing that anyone.
Oh, but that's neither here nor there.
It's neither here nor there.
What did you expect?
Do you know? Like, it's crazy. And the worst part is like, I'm 14 when this is being said to me. I don't know what AIDS is. Like,
you're like, cool.
Really nice.
Yeah, great
My
stuff.
parents already don't like me because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, complacent.
I'm lazy. I'm complacent. I'm worse. I'm gay. It's not good.
It's not good. It's horrible.
It's horrible. Well, I was going to say that it brings me onto the general topic of unsupportive parents, and I think you vaguely mentioned in the prep for this incredibly professional podcasting series that you wanted to talk about trans kids. If you would like to segue there, or would you rather not?
To segue into trans kids, I would on
the topic of supportive parents.
In the true spirit of my parents' bigoted views on LGBT issues.
Bloody hell, that's
and
a
the true
twister.
spirit of my parents siding with, you know, the oppressors. Would be that every time I remember when they recently did that overturn. I say overturn. This isn't a show. Overture. When they I remember that day. It's not Supreme Court. What's our version of that? Parliament.
Sure.
Parliamentary
bill
that said that, you know, people that are born biologically their sex have to use that.
No, that was the Supreme Court overturning the Scottish bill.
Was that?
Yeah, because it was Scottish law, I think, that was to try and bring in, progress gender rights, and then They said, no, 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 no.
Not today. And
Not
I think I
today.
remember I came home from work knowing very little about it. I texted a few friends to ask what was happening because Twitter was going off. But I got home and I sat down and my mum turned to me so smug and said, "Did you hear that women get to keep their gender?"
It's painful.
It's horrible.
I know.
And I'm maybe over dramatizing it just because I want them to come across as the villain, but it was in the moment I was just like, well, what do you mean by that?
It's just the episode you can't show them.
Well, they're not going to watch it anyway, but it's...
Imagine them supporting you.
I imagine. I mean, it's just absolutely horrible. And the thing is, my parents, they're not like up in arms people. They really just don't care that much. But I think very much
complacent.
Like myself, they like to play the devil's advocate and say, well, it's been like this for so long. And why can't it just stay like this? Or like, I think they see it as another example of like navel gazing where an individual...
Walkie-talkie gone mad.
Individual. Yeah, like the woke society thing. It's just like, but... And I try and say it to them like as plainly as possible, whereas they saw me grow up being really feminine or whatever you want to call it, just gay. And they kind of just go, well, there's so many different people like me that exist that way. Is it really that hard for your imagination to stretch to the furthest side of the spectrum where someone is so feminine and they look in the mirror every day and they see something that they go, this is myself and this is who I need to be and this is what other people need to get their heads around in order for me to want to survive. You know, I mean, it's just people wanting to function as...
Fucking get on with it.
Normally in society as possible without being fucking prosecuted. And that's kind of really all it comes down to. And, you know, when I look at stuff like what my parents say, it's really interesting because it'll be something like, oh, well, I mean, I don't want someone who's like, it could be something as simple as like, you know, multi-sex changing rooms. Like, I don't want like a woman changing in the same dressing room as me or in the same toilet as me. And it's like there's some validity to that, but it's just like such an awful perception of what the human experience is. Like automatically, for example, if I'm attracted to men, I'm ultimately a threat to men in a changing room because I'm going to fucking pounce on them. So when I see stuff like, I mean, when my parents talk about people like J.K. Rowling, who are like, oh, poor J.K. Rowling, like she's really, really coming after, people are really coming after her. For like saying that as if she's fucking pure Protestant.
Yeah, as if this is the first time that she's been acting like a disgusting human being, like targeting this group of people. What I find really frustrating, I was doing devil's advocate first, was to say that if I'm trying to find a point for the other side, I'd say that if you're the victim of sexual harassment or rape as a woman, right, and say it had occurred in a changing room, okay, I could understand how no matter who it is, you're always going to be threatened and would prefer the privacy of it being just women. Whatever you see as just women being, right? I can understand that's where some of the vitriol comes from because ultimately hate is a vehicle for fear. And I think that is a lot of where some of the pushback is coming from is women are afraid. And I recognise that. What I don't respect is taking a marginalised group that ultimately has had their entire lives used and exploited for essentially just like the topic of the day, the thing to distract us all from what's really happening in the government, the real decisions that are being made to hurt far more people than trans people ever would, being used as the topic, the scapegoat to distract us from more important stuff. And having their lives debated as if, and their validity debated on a daily basis, being made like the talking point when all they want to do is just fucking get on with it. And if on the topic of who is the most vulnerable, like trans teenagers have the highest suicide rate of any group. Black trans women are the most likely to be murdered in America, right? These are the groups that we need to be protected. Obviously, this is all old ground, Jesus Christ. But I find it very frustrating when it becomes down to, but that's a man and they're going to attack me in the changing rooms. I'm like, you're talking about someone that has been equally, if not more persecuted than you ever will be. And this is the person that you think doesn't understand the concept of empathy and would not see that yes, you're afraid, but they're more afraid. And that's why they would never, ever do anything like that to make you feel uncomfortable, because they've spent their whole lives feeling uncomfortable. And I ultimately think it's the damage that TV shows and movies like Ace Ventura or
I just bought that on VHS the other week.
yeah, crazy.
Ace Ventura, I thought that was about a pet detective.
The trans jokes in that are horrible. The Buffalo Bill, you know.
Oh yeah.
Cross-dressing.
Did I tell you? I said this to Tilly. I was gonna do like a Pride LGBT, physical media favorites, and it was gonna be like I had in Threshold. It was an Audrey Hepburn film called Children's Hour about lesbians, which was a terrible ending because ultimately the actual lesbian kills herself. And then so there was that for lesbians, and then for trans people, I had Sleepaway Camp, which is an 80s slasher about a young woman who goes around killing people at camp, and then it's revealed that she's actually a man.
The trend of cross-dressing equals evil in cinema from the 60s to like the 90s is disgusting. And if you watch if you really want to depress yourself, go watch a supercut on YouTube of inappropriate trans jokes, and like you realize how pervasive it is, and ultimately has to have contributed to how some people feel like it's appropriate to subconsciously, like it's not even their fault really if it's been, you know, given to them and brainwashed into them. You associate transness with alienness or just evil, because all of this media has done the work for you already. It's so insidious, it's horrible. And I just find it fascinating that, like, if there was ever going to be any group of people that would be the least likely to act violently, you know, it's marginalized groups.
But also it's kind of tantamount to clownery, which I hate to say. That seems like a terrible...
What? To
clownery.
What? Clownery?
Clownery?
Clownery.
Clownery, right.
Scottish was really broad there.
It's,
Jesus.
I'm sorry. I hate to make this comparison, but it's sort of like, you know, that thing where people say they have a deep, dark fear of clowns. And I think the root, or the thing that people like to say the most, is that it's something that seems like it's for children, but ultimately it seems very sinister because they wear makeup and they kind of, you know.
So you think it's adults fearing or recognizing what is essentially another adult preying on a child, and that's what's scary about it?
God, when you put it like that, I retract the whole statement. Ultimately, what I think, you know, where the similarity stops and starts is that, you know, there's a level of pretense, which is sort of, you know, people think they're imitating like a thing. Ugh, why am I saying it like this? Ugh, that's awful. Ugh. You know, it's like, you know, there's an element of dress up, I guess, where people think there's a more malicious intent at play. But, you know, that's just...
the costume is masking something.
Yeah, so it's just
that's
like...
what I mean. Like, I think we're, as a society, scared of things happening to children because we recognise from a parental, protective, primal place that it's the most vulnerable people being victimised. And then when you add that into, I'm dressing up and I'm not what I am, those two things together create nightmare fuel. You know, whether or not a child recognises it or not.
Because the biggest if you're falling down like the conservative angle, is that like, they'll say shit like, oh, well, my child can pretend they're a dog for like 20 minutes. It doesn't mean they are one. And it's like, what?
Yeah, like
I can put on spots and a tail. It doesn't mean I'm a giraffe. I'm like, do you know what I mean? But there's like much...
You're making the argument silly for the sake of trying to invalidate it, when reasonably no one is saying that. Just because a producer on a reality TV show has gone, this person thinks they're a dog, let's make a TV show about them. Now they're your spokesperson for an entire queer community, and you will see nothing other than that person, the end of the spectrum of how weird and wonderful people can be, and paste it over every single person and say it's all going mad. And I'm just like, to me it's a lack of intelligence, because I'm like, if you just used your brain capacity and reasoned this out for 5 minutes, debated it, you know, saw both sides, you would see in your head that no, that's an outlier. It's someone that is so kooky, wacky, crazy, right? They clearly do not represent this entire group of people. And in fact, blanket statement saying that everybody is like them you know, like the furry types or whatever, right? Everybody's a furry. All these walkie-talkies, they're all furries. You know what I mean? They're all trying to be doing bestiality in the furry costumes in the double gender bathrooms.
Can I just say, for the sake of talking, my FYP Instagram is all feet.
Oh, your For You page.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened. I'm not seeking this out. It's not intentional, but my entire targeted content on my Instagram is just pictures of men's feet.
Do you think it's taunting you
It's haunting me.
since you have a torrid relationship with your own toes?
Yeah, they're disgusting, but it doesn't mean I'm not attracted to other pupils.
I think maybe
Little chitsy witsies.
itsy bitsy spiders. I think maybe you've just been speaking about your feet out loud too much, and your phone has taken that energy and gone, I know what we're gonna do. You know.
I'm not enjoying it. I'm just saying it would be really nice
Stating the fact.
if my
say all that
metadata
to
on my
say.
phone could give like a really strong backstory to that.
Well, we're coming up now to the last 2 minutes of our extended Pride episode.
So last thoughts on Pride, Ellie. Do you think it's good? I'm sorry we didn't. We could have done a whole other discussion about whether or not we need Pride in 2025. The short answer to that is yes, because while there are still countries where it is 100% absolutely illegal, and I'm sick of girls in my work saying to me, "You can't go to Dubai, Euan, because you're gay," or "You can't go into a church, Euan, because you're gay." And it's like, those jokes don't particularly annoy me as much as the fact that, you know, these girls will still do this shit and go, "But you can't."
Yeah, like, why are you saying it?
Just
you know?
stupid.
But if the point is to point out that there's still an imbalance,
Yeah.
there's still prejudice, it's like, yeah, well, the joke's on me, but, like, there is still an entire nation of women that, like, you know.
Yeah, I don't even know why I'm saying it like that. It seems so victim mentality, because
That
women
can't-
can't go to fucking Dubai and be themselves. Like,
You know? Yeah.
or can they? I forget.
Well, I just think about, like, I mean, we're getting into political shit, but, like, areas
This
where...
whole thing wasn't political.
No, that's true. There's like areas where the Taliban taken over in certain countries, and I don't want to get the wrong country, but like women were no longer allowed to go to school, and they were disenfranchised from education not 2 years ago, and that problem has not been solved.
This is the
So you know,
like sort of
so there are people experiencing those things. So when you're like, you can't go to church, I'm like,
catch.
yeah, but there really are still people out there.
Yeah, for sure. I remember like this is
And
the
I'm
catch
protected by my
22, like,
privilege.
because we work or I encounter like so many different people from different cultures that I could like go on a 20-minute tangent about how crazy it is to be LGBT in the West. But think about what it's like for someone who's a woman in the East.
Yeah,
So we
imagine
can't
that.
even begin to have conversations about people being trans when in some parts of the world it's barely legal to be just a woman. So, you know, it's all about context. It's all about finding, you know, the balance. Oh, fuck.
And I'd say all that to say.
But things I hate when people say, "Oh, it's just about finding the right balance." I hate it. And I say all that to
I say
say.
all that to say.
Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to the We Say All That to Say podcast.
I think we're incredibly privileged, but we recognise that privilege, and there's always more work to be done.
Gratitude with attitude. Attitude with gratitude.
Gratitude with attitude.
On the We Say All
I
That
like
to Say podcast. And can I just say, I have been Euan Kinlock. I am a photographer.
John Kinlock.
John Kinlock, a video content creator, a senior cashier,
Bus driver.
all-time an all-time little fun guy, and I'm not talking about my ties.
I really thought you were going to drop the F-bomb.
Faggot. Bleep it out.
Bleep it out.
And everybody, this is Ellie Toft. She's a pottery student.
Student.
I'm not gonna do your little intro. You are.
Are you speaking over women again?
You are who? Who are you?
My name is Eleanor Toft.
Please do that again.
Why? I must do it again.
You were hesitant.
Okay. I wasn't confident enough. I didn't have enough attitude
Correct.
to go with my gratitude. My name is Eleanor. Miss Eleanor Toft. I am an ex-retail employee.
She's an ex-rental.
Ex-rental, as of last week. Sexless freak. Make pottery. Painter, sometimes. All-round creative. DIY extraordinaire. Massive brown nose. Only child syndrome having. Dancer.
More clay than sense.
More clear than sense. Mud for brains. That's it. Ex-contortionist. There we go. And that'll do it for tonight's episode.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody,
you, John
for
John, for
watching.
being here with me. I'm taking off.
She's actually walking away from me.
I'm taking off.
It's a lot to say.
An Audible production.